Welcome to the Ben Buzz. I'm Benny King, and today I have a guest and my brother Jack.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah, and after an incredible football year concluded in February, the NFL season is rapidly approaching, and we now have our very first game tonight in the Hall of Fame game to kick off the preseason. Are you excited for this game tonight, Jack?
I am. I am. Definitely.
We're gonna see, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
we're gonna see the Lions and the Chargers, and obviously it's preseason, so very interesting start to the season. But what's really interesting about this game is obviously that it's the Hall of Fame game. So we're going to have a lot of legends being honored, and guys like Antonio Gates, if you remember his time with the Chargers.
I definitely do. He was definitely one of my favorite players growing up,
Yep. Yep. He
specifically
was
tight ends.
incredible.
Yeah, awesome.
Unfortunate that him and Philip Rivers couldn't get a ring for sure.
Yeah, even though one year they had a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense and they still missed the playoffs. So
I
it
know. You
sucks.
think about those
It must suck
teams.
to be a Chargers fan for sure.
I know.
Yeah,
You think about
yeah.
those teams with like LaDainian and Tomlinson. It's like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. Keenan Allen.
Yep.
Yeah,
And there
yeah.
was right, and there was even that one year when I believe they were in the AFC Championship against the Patriots, and they almost won, but Philip Rivers was playing with like a torn ACL or something ridiculous. So it's like you think about all those moments where
hmm
they ended up coming out with no championships, not even a Super Bowl appearance, which is unfortunate for Chargers for sure.
And Tomlinson, he has the rushing touchdown record in a season,
Well,
like
Tomlinson was insane.
27 or something.
And then Sterling Sharp as well will also be honored. Any thoughts on that, Jack?
Yeah, uh, amazing receiver. Um, One of the best in Packers history. He, I think, if Devontae Adams didn't break it, he had it for like the longest time. The single season touchdown
Right,
record. He had like 17. So yeah,
right.
yeah,
Then we'll have Jared Allen, who played with the Vikings for a long time. You probably
hmm
remember him facing them twice a year.
yeah. He was definitely a beast. Yeah. hmm
Right. He definitely was. And then we're going to have Eric Allen as well. And he was a cornerback for the Saints, actually.
hmm
Very interesting class. It's his, he might be the oldest one here as he's 59 and finally getting into the Hall of Fame. Jared Allen's only 43.
And Gates isn't that old either. He's probably in his 40s. Last year,
No, Sterling Sharp
or
is
yeah,
60, though. So I think Sterling
yeah.
Sharp is the oldest.
Last year it wasn't it Megatron last year?
I believe so.
And he
Yes.
was young for sure because he retired early. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep, very interesting. And those guys will be honored in the game, the very first preseason game, and technically the first game of the 2025 to 26 season tonight in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, yeah. It's exciting.
Yep.
Yeah,
It is. And coming off the heels of last season, what were your biggest surprises? Like, what did you think about last season as a whole?
like surprising the fact that like there was so many teams that we expected to be good but weren't.
Right, I know. Like the 49ers, Cowboys, right? Right. It feels like every other year with the Niners lately, they just have a huge injury year and then they bounce back the next year. So be expecting a bounce back next year, maybe.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But we'll see what Saquon because it's always the Madden cover athlete who has to deal with
Right,
the
right,
consequences of being on the cover. So hopefully Saquon doesn't get affected too much.
right, right. I was
But
extremely impressed with
yeah,
what he was able to do with the Eagles last year. Basically led them to
oh
the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
absolutely,
Incredible.
yeah, yeah. I would say I definitely if he played that last game, he would have been front runner for MVP. If I mean,
Right.
and didn't he almost break 2,000 yards or did he?
He broke 2000 for sure, and he probably would have beat the all-time rushing like yards in a season, but he sat out in week 17.
Which good call on
I
that.
think
I
it's
mean,
honorable because the
for
guy who
sure.
did it before did it in less games, and then when you have an extra week, like I get how like that could be criticized.
And
If it was like in
yeah,
15 games, obviously, or like 16, but like once it gets to that last week, it becomes like, well, he did it in less games, right?
yeah. and you're risking injury, and it definitely paid off.
Right.
'Cause
And
they won a ring.
right.
Yeah.
And the Eagles, I wasn't as surprised where we saw them in the Super Bowl a few years ago and then the playoffs last year. But I mean, how about the Washington Commanders, Jack?
That was definitely the biggest surprise for me,
Right.
because it's, I mean, the biggest success they've had recently.
Oh,
There hasn't
easily.
been much. I mean, the biggest, like, since like 2020, which that wasn't even that big with Heineke,
Right. And they only got
and they didn't even win a playoff game then.
right. They
Yeah,
only got in the playoffs that year because they won their division, which ended up being the worst of that year. And
it was really bad that year.
the
Yeah,
only time you could say before this year when they were legitimately good was probably Robert Griffin III's first year.
yeah.
And the
hmm
parallels with that
That's
year
that's true.
and Jaden Daniels' first year are
That's true.
uncanny for sure. Right. And he, of course, won Rookie of the Year 2025. Well deserved. I mean, when you're a rookie quarterback and you win a playoff game, that's insane. Not
Definitely.
only did he win a
Yeah,
playoff game, he won two playoff games, and
yeah,
I believe both were on the road.
yeah. They were.
They went to Tampa Bay and then went into Detroit and made Detroit look silly. It was a really impressive playoff run, and even though they got ran out of the building by the Eagles, the fact that they were in that game at all, I think, says a lot about this young team.
It definitely does. And I would kind of say it's similar to Stroud last year. Um,
Oh yeah,
like
I
taking
agree.
a team that no one thought would make it and winning a playoff game against the Browns. Yeah,
Right. And I believe
yeah,
CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels were both picked second overall, which is interesting.
that is true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
How
yeah.
did you feel about the rookie class last year? The rookie QB class.
I mean, I would definitely say most were. It was one of the best QB classes we've had in a minute.
Right. I agree. And in terms of immediate impact, it was one of the better years for sure.
Yeah, and you definitely lucked out with the Oregon and Auburn QB Bo Nix,
Most
which
definitely.
I like was kind of hesitant on because he spent so much time in college, but that definitely paid off for him for sure.
Right. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he came into the league with a lot of experience. And so that helped us in the long run. And
hmm
I mean, all in all, Caleb Williams didn't do terrible, but the group around him, you could say, wasn't the best, and maybe the O line was rough. But the way they've rebounded their O line, I really think the Bears could be something special this year. And then with what
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels did with the Commanders, I mean, who thought that team was going to be good? And then Drake
Yeah.
May had some nice flashes on the Patriots. I don't know if they're going to be good this year. It might take a year or two in the rebuild, but I could definitely see them being good with Drake May, especially with Mike Vrabel at helm.
Yeah, and Penix
And
with the Falcons as well.
right, we saw him take over about second half of the year, and Penix looked solid.
He does.
And
He does.
we didn't see JJ McCarthy at all because he got hurt. But
Yeah.
with the way Sam Darnold played in that offense, and Sam Darnold hadn't played good football until that point, I think you can be pretty optimistic that JJ McCarthy's at least going to do decent. So when you're looking at this class as a whole, all of a sudden you have one, two, three, four, like it could be six legitimate starters in this league, and they all came from the first round.
Yeah. It's just insane. And would you think this league, this new draft class this year would match up with that? Or is it too early to tell for that?
I I think I don't think it's too early. I think you can say that it won't because most
Yeah.
of them won't even start. The only one that I think will start is probably the rookie out of Tennessee or out of Miami, excuse me, drafted by Tennessee, Cam Ward. He really looks great, and there's no one really on the Titans that I think is going to start above him, especially since Will Levis just had that shoulder surgery. I think that's the only day one starter, and
Oh,
then Shador
he,
Sanders,
yeah.
right?
I saw that picture of his
Will
shoulder.
Levis
That was, yeah.
I saw that as well. That was a rough
Yeah.
year for Will Levis.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
It'll be unfortunate this year when we won't get a new meme every week from Will Levis.
Yeah, he was.
Right?
Yeah, the Mayo head. Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Mayo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shador Sanders ended up getting drafted way later than we thought, but he wasn't even the first quarterback the Browns drafted. And with that Browns QB room, I mean, I don't. Like a couple are going to get cut from there. I mean, he'll probably stay on the team, but I don't know what's going on with that. And Jackson Dart probably won't play for a while with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston on the team. So Other than Cam Ward, I don't know if any of them are gonna. No, I don't think. I think he's gonna be the only day one starter for sure. And we
Yeah.
might only see Jackson Dart. We might only see Jackson Dart throughout the year because I'm not sure what the Browns are doing right now.
Yeah, I don't think we will either. I don't know. I don't even I mean, I think we'll see Sanders just because I think they're gonna try to get rid of John Watson, yeah. Hmm.
Should have never brought him on the team in the first place, but right,
No, they shouldn't have. Yeah.
right,
Yeah, it's the both Giants and Browns, those are a mess right there. Yeah, but
right. And every year in these playoffs, it seems that almost around 50% of the teams that made it last year make it back, and it seems like almost it gets cut in half. What are your cut five, add five teams? Who do you think teams that made the playoff last year are going to miss it, and who do you think is going to make it from teams that just missed it?
let's see.
Personally, I think a big take right now is that the Texans won't make it. I still think they're going to make it because their division's just too atrocious for them to drop out. So I think they're going to make the playoffs regardless, just because of that division.
Yeah, I think I would still say they're making it. Yeah, but they're not they're not a contender for me.
Oh, definitely
Yeah.
not. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
we'll see a jump this next year. And I do like CJ Stroud, but there was a little bit of a fall off last year. They still ended up winning a playoff game because the Chargers, frankly, just didn't show up to that game. But
Yeah.
it was still a solid year, and any year that you win a playoff game is still great. But I don't think you definitely can't say they're contenders. And I would say they missed the playoffs if there was another good team in their division, but there just isn't. I don't think.
Yeah.
Right. For teams that I think are
Yeah.
gonna drop out of the playoffs, I think the Vikings are gonna miss it this year, and they made it last year. What do you think about
Wow.
that?
Um I don't know. I disagree. I think they're with Brian Flores
You think?
on the defensive side,
Mm-hmm.
like they're just. I mean, they did kind of last year. They definitely didn't show up for that playoff game.
Hmm. Right.
Against was the Rams.
Well, yes, the Rams. Yes.
Rams, yeah. What I definitely expected the Vikings to win that game, and they didn't.
Right. I did
But
too.
I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming. But we'll have to see where if McCarthy is good at
Yep. Well,
Darnold. I
well, the
mean,
difference is for
yeah,
me is that Sam Darnold had several years under his belt. Sure, there weren't good football, but there was still experience, and then he took all that and then ended up with a great like receiving core with Justin Jefferson, but I don't know in with JJ McCarthy as a rookie, I don't think they're going to be bad, but I don't know if they make the playoffs just yet. So that's my first team on my drop five out.
okay, yeah,
And my second team is the Steelers. I think the Steelers are the next team that made it and will not make it this year. Do you
yeah,
agree?
yeah. I think we can agree on that. I mean, it's interesting with Metcalf and Rogers, but I mean,
Right.
thing is, you can never count them out because as long as Tomlin's on the team, they're always going to be
Right.
close to making it, or if not making it. Um,
Right.
yeah, but I don't think it's crazy to say
Hmm.
they won't make it. Yeah,
Right. And it's a very interesting group that they got going on, but I don't know if you trust Rodgers. And then in the AFC is just so ridiculous. Where if you put that team in the NFC, I think they're probably a playoff team. But with how stacked the AFC seems to be, I don't know if they make it. You know.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yep. Now my next team. This is probably a bit of a hot take, but I'm gonna say the Chargers. What do you think about that?
I mean, they definitely didn't belong. Um, this last playoffs, where they were the high seed, everyone expected them to win, and they just got stomped by
Right.
like not even like a Texans team that looked that good. So, yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. That doesn't. Yeah. Right.
hmm
Right.
yeah,
This doesn't bode much confidence for
yeah,
the future. And also, they had J.K. Dobbins running the ball for them. Now he's gone, and he's on the Broncos now. Yeah, I think Justin Herbert is very solid, but people putting him in top five conversations just doesn't make sense. And we have Super Bowl and MVP winning quarterbacks, and even we can go even lower than that, just playoff winning quarterbacks, because we're still waiting on a playoff win from Justin Herbert.
Yeah, yeah, we are. He was very promising and very like I was very excited when he first got to the team. Um,
Right,
and the one playoff win he almost had
right,
was the 27-3 lead he had on the Jags and blew it. So I mean that's the closest we've gotten to a Justin Herbert playoff win. So I don't think it's that crazy to say that they won't make the playoffs. They just
right,
yeah, they don't seem like a complete team. Yeah,
right. I don't think so either. And in that game, and they were only up by so much in that game because Trevor Lawrence threw four
yeah.
interceptions, and
Hmm.
they still found a way to lose. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And he's not a bad quarterback, but they just haven't performed in the playoffs. And until they do so, I don't think you can say he's better than a guy like Jalen Hurts, who's won a Super Bowl, or, guys like Matthew Stafford, or, anything of that nature. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I think people think like um, the fact that the Eagles do the push tush push like makes Herbert, I mean not
Right,
Herbert Hurts a worse QB, but it
right.
absolutely doesn't. Yeah, and he has
I don't think so.
two Super Bowl
Well, it only
appearances.
works so
Yeah,
well because that O line is great, and then Jalen Hurts, he squats like 600 pounds
yeah,
to be able to do things like
yeah.
that. So yeah,
I mean, you could say Hurts
yeah,
is
and just
definitely
yeah,
blessed with a better team. He's like MVP caliber running back,
right,
two like amazing receivers.
right,
Like he definitely has like
hmm
better coaching, the better front office. Like he's definitely in a better situation.
right,
That's why like the Chargers, I would say they're not making it either. Yeah, especially with how stacked the AFC is too.
right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I agree.
like I would have the
Um,
Broncos over them this year.
right. Yeah, I agree. And my fourth team, this is where we start to get to splitting hairs because it feels like a lot of these teams should make it, but I'm going to say the Rams for my fourth team.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think this is a tricky one. And I think the 49ers coming back, I think the 49ers take the division. And then you start looking at the wild card spots and you think the Commanders are probably going to grab one of those spots. Maybe the Packers are going to grab another one. And basically, are you saying the Rams, can they beat out teams like the Seahawks or, the Bears or whatever it is. Like I don't know because if they don't win that division, because last year they ended up running away with the division. 49ers were kind of out of it. Seahawks were fine, but they weren't. I think the Rams only had to win like 10 games last year to get that home playoff game. So honestly, if the 49ers come back to full strength next year, I think the Rams miss it.
You know what? Like when you first said that, it sounds insane, but like when you look
Right,
deeply in it, it's true. They were like that far. I mean, but they did beat like a stacked Vikings team. They are like still a good team.
right.
Um,
Right. That team started to fall. That team really started to collapse. I mean, when they lost to the Lions in that
yeah,
final week, they really
yeah,
just
hmm
yeah, yeah, really weird.
yeah. I mean, we'll see how the Niners are going to be.
Right.
If they're going to come back to full strength.
Hmm.
But yeah, because they got rid of a bunch of players,
Right.
and you still have McCaffrey come back from that injury,
Right.
so it's going to be interesting. Yeah,
Hmm. Exactly. Right. And honestly, I mean, if they don't win that division, like it's gonna kind of be a dogfight for that seventh spot, for that fifth, sixth, and seventh. Because we saw last year the Packers and the Vikings and the Commanders took those spots, but like the Seahawks won 9 or 10 games
yeah,
last year. The Bears weren't awful either.
yeah.
I mean, like, and also the way the Falcons and the Panthers started looking towards the end of the year, if all of a sudden they're in the running for the playoffs, I don't know if the Rams end up coming out of that.
Yeah,
I think they're probably my fourth, like, most likely to miss it. But
it's
I,
definitely like
right,
more competitive in the AFC, and I would have definitely have the Bengals making the playoffs because
right,
they just got so unlucky. Like they were the complete opposite of the Chiefs this last year, where the
right,
Chiefs got insanely lucky with every game. Um,
right.
the
Right.
Bengals got extremely unlucky with every game. Yeah. So,
Right.
and they
I think
still almost made the
right.
playoffs. So,
Right.
yeah.
I think the Bengals are definitely a team, definitely top five most likely to get in there that didn't before, and I think they'll probably switch out spots with the Steelers because with the Ravens there and with their defense not being up to par, maybe they take that sixth, maybe the wild card spot, and sort of just sub out from where the Steelers were last year. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And another thing I'll say about the Bengals is
Hmm.
they usually start at 0-2,
Right.
but I think if they want to like have a lock with the playoffs, they can't start 0-2.
Right.
I know like it's always, and I don't think they will start 0-2. I think that
Hmm.
they'll break that streak with this year. Um,
Right. I agree.
and they should. Like,
They
yeah,
shouldn't have been
because
0-2
they
last
started
year.
out 0-2. They shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been because they started out 0-2, and then like they were still a great team, and then they
Right.
just kept losing games. So yeah,
Right, and that pass interference call against the Chiefs was ridiculous. Where they should have started out one
right.
and one, and then you start adding wins together. Had they gotten that one, they would have actually made it. So I mean, that's definitely a team I think. And then the second one, I say the 49ers. I have faith in the 49ers. They have this weird thing where they like win, and then they had like every so often they have a year where all of a sudden they just get half the wins they usually do, and just injuries is usually why. But I feel like the 49ers are going to come
Yeah.
back, and I don't have too much faith in that division. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, even though like sometimes they're solid, like they haven't been a real threat since the DeAndre Hopkins era in Arizona. And with the Seahawks, I mean,
Yeah.
they get rid of Geno Smith, right? And no DK Metcalf. I think their top receiver might be Jackson Smith and Jigba now. Like, can he have that same success? I don't know.
Mm, yeah.
So I think those two, I don't think they're
I
going to
doubt it.
win. And
Yeah.
then we just, right. And if the 49ers are strength, like, and an aging Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford, I think the 49ers can run away with that division and slide into the playoffs fairly easily. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think they're definitely a lock for first place. And that was kind of similar when the Rams won the Super Bowl and then next year they were awful. But that wasn't really, was that due to injuries like this last year with the Niners? I don't
Right.
think it was. I think Aaron Donald left, right?
Right. Well, I think he was there a year or two after. Yeah, that year after the Super Bowl
Maybe,
was ridiculous.
maybe
The Super
yeah.
Bowl hangover for them was ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. He was still there and they had like the worst record
Right.
of a repeat champ.
Right. That was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. But they kind of were dealing with injuries, I guess, because Baker started that
Right.
season too.
And
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. Hmm.
right. Yeah. And then my third team is going to be the Bears. Honestly, the way they've reloaded, I think they're going to snag one of those playoff spots, one of the wild cards. I think. I don't think they're winning the division. I think the Lions or the Packers got that. Probably the Lions, but I don't know. I like the Bears this year for the first time in a while. What do you think?
They started out last season really strong, and it
Right,
was insane how good the NFC North was.
right,
But then they
and
kind
they're
of fell off.
right.
Yeah,
And they were the one team that was kind of faulty. But I mean, that Jaden Daniels Hail Mary against them to lose that game, that was ridiculous, and that really killed a lot of their momentum.
yeah,
It kind of sucked the soul out of the team. But bouncing back this year, I do really like Caleb Williams because I mean that was a terrible situation. Like no one has been able to play good there in a while. And even though he didn't play like exceptional, it was his first year and I mean I think he did about as well as he could have done with that team. But the way they're
mhm,
rebuilding,
yeah,
the way they're building around him where I think I mean they got um they just drafted Luther Burden out of Missouri, who's a monster. I don't know how he fell to them. They still have Romo Dunze, who they got in the first round the same
yeah.
year as Caleb Williams. I mean, and the way they rebuilt the O line. I mean, Ryan Poles, the GM, has done a fantastic job building this team. We're just waiting for the on field success. Where I mean, you even go back to that trade that they did with the Panthers, where the Panthers wanted to get Bryce Young, and the Bears got so much capital for him, and like DJ Moore and like all those picks were like
Oh, that trade. Looking back on that
right.
trade,
I know.
that was not good. Yeah,
Right, Bryce Young's starting to look better though. The way he finished
he
out the
is.
season was
He
really
is.
great, but it certainly wasn't worth what they gave up and the years that they've wasted, where they've just
Yeah.
been. I mean, they've sort of been the worst team in the league for a while, just about.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, with the Bears, I mean, the way that they built this team, it's like there should be on-field success, and I think it's finally going to happen this year. And I think similar to how the Bengals subbed out with the Steelers, I think the Bears are going to jump into where the Vikings were last year in like the fifth to seventh range, something like that. I'm really high on the Bears this year, and maybe I shouldn't be.
Mhm.
Maybe the Bears are just cursed to miss the playoffs every year. I don't know. I don't. It's been forever. I mean, since the double doink, I guess that they've been in.
Yeah, the Cody Parkey. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it
I think they were. I think they were there another year, but they lost to the Saints in like a field goal contest, so that doesn't really count.
hey, that first year with Trubisky,
Right.
they looked good. He was a Pro Bowler. Yeah.
Trubisky looked solid for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
He did. He did. Yeah. And then people were like, "Well, maybe picking him over Patrick Mahomes wasn't so bad."
Right.
But then, yeah, then
Right.
everything else. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Who's
then right.
It's not Eberflus anymore coaching the
Oh no.
Bears,
Well, they should have
right?
never hired him. Right.
Yeah. Who is? Do you know?
Oh, it's they got the Lions offensive coordinator,
Oh, I
Ben
know.
Johnson.
He's
Yeah,
yeah, Johnson. Johnson. He's great.
that was a crazy grab for them. Yeah, he is really good.
Because he's been off coaching jobs for a minute, but he wanted to stay on the Lions.
Right. I mean, that
Yeah,
Lions offense is so great, and all that trickery that they do. We'll see how the Lions do, and see if that offense is the same. Interesting that he went
yeah,
in division too. Yeah.
yeah. It's true.
But with all this, I think it culminates, and I think the Bears are going to squeak in there.
They were definitely like in contention before that. Just Hail Mary just sucked out the soul from that team. So yeah, I don't think that's that crazy to say. Because yeah,
Right. Right. So I think this year, I do think, yeah, right. I think they'll
yeah.
find their way in there this year. I think. Right. And my fourth team, I got the Cowboys. This is an interesting team. Like, I honestly, I don't think they're winning the division. Obviously, if it's not the Eagles, it'll be the Commanders. But I mean, this is just another one where it's those wild card spots in the NFC that are kind of up for grabs. Where like, I think it's going to come down to like the Cowboys, the Bears, and the Packers probably.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too.
I think the only team, you're right. I think the only team that's coming out of the NFC South is going to be the division winner. It's probably going to be the Bucks. I mean, the Falcons or the Panthers could end up having good years, but I just need to see it to believe it. And the Panthers had a few good stretches, but it was kind of when the series or the season was already over for them. So, I mean, if those teams can turn it around, great. I have the least faith in the Saints,
Yeah,
probably. I think it'll probably just be the Bucks win the division, the Lions win the division, the Eagles win the division, and the Niners. And then I think maybe it's the Bears, the Packers, and the Cowboys that sneak into those playoff
yeah.
spots.
Who's coaching the Cowboys now?
Coaching the Cowboys, I don't think it was a very good pick. It was, yeah, Brian Schottenheimer. I don't really know much about him, but I'm not sure. I'm not crazy about him. It's
Oh,
just
I don't
the
either.
NFC, like it's going to be a dogfight for those
Yeah,
playoff spots, those last couple, and I think it's kind of just a pick 'em at that point. But if Dak's
yeah,
healthy, I think it's
yeah,
possible. And then but I mean, you look at the AFC and like,
yeah,
I'm not as confident because like it's probably going to be Ravens, Texans, Bills, Chiefs, probably, right? And then you start looking at those playoff spots and you think like, do the Bengals, do the Broncos, like
yeah, for
who
sure.
else like squeaks in, you know? And maybe the Chargers end up making it. I mean, the Raiders might even be solid too because they
Oh
got
yeah,
Geno, who's
hmm
had a lot of experience now at the
yeah,
Seahawks, and then they got Ashton Genty, like, and they still have Max Crosby on that defense.
yeah.
Maybe the Raiders make a run, but I don't know.
That's a little bit less likely because Gino's getting up there.
Right? Well, I'm saying like a
Like
seven.
his
I'm saying
one of
like a
his
seven seed possibility.
7 seed. I think even that's kind of stretching it.
You
I don't
think?
know. We'll have to see because yeah, Raiders are just yeah. I don't know. I don't have much faith even with yeah. I
Right.
don't
I'll have to
know
see it to believe it, obviously.
because that division is
But
great.
right,
Yeah,
right. And I mean,
yeah,
out of that division, I think the first two likely is probably the Chiefs and then the Broncos. The Broncos made it last year after a slow start and a lot of doubters, and then the way they've added in free agency with Dre Greenlaw, Taliana Hufanga, J.K. Dobbins, like you could really see them maybe not take that big of a step because they were a seven seed last year. Maybe they end
yeah,
up getting the fifth seed. I could see them getting the fifth seed actually, because I could see that because of the Bengals defense that they slip a little
Oh,
bit, and maybe the Bengals are 6 or 7, and then maybe the Broncos get slotted up there at the 5 because
yeah, they need to get a better defense.
right.
They do.
But I think the Chiefs are probably going to win the
Yeah.
division though. Once again,
Oh, absolutely. They're the team I have the most confidence in to win the
right.
division. So yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
now after a crazy year where teams like the Commanders ended up being in Super Bowl territory, what is your Super Bowl bubble in this new year?
I would say in the AFC, Chiefs, Bills, and Texans,
Right.
and maybe
Right.
Bengals.
Right. And the Ravens probably too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say the
Ravens as well.
Texans.
I did I say Texans?
But
No.
that
Yeah.
Bengals, right, you did say, yeah. I think it's probably Chiefs, Bills,
Yeah.
Ravens, Bengals. And the Bengals
Yeah.
are such a weird one because I could see them completely missing the playoffs or
Like
going deep
if
in the
if
playoffs,
the, like if the Bengals make the
where,
playoffs,
right,
that's a team you absolutely don't want to play because because it doesn't matter their
right,
record. I feel like if they just make it there, you yeah
right, right. Because they'll hang
yeah
40 on you
yeah
any other Sunday. And I mean, especially in the playoffs, if teams are able to respond to that, I mean, I think the
yeah
Bengals are a really weird team where I really like their offense. Their
yeah
offense is really solid, but when it comes to their defense, I mean, obviously that's not as good, but I mean, with how good their offense is, I think they'll be able to squeak in. And, you know, even with that faulty defense, I think teams are really going to
yeah.
be scared to play
hmm
them. Um, I don't know if they're in the bubble. I think they're just on the line where I think we're going to have to see how they perform this next year because doubling down on those two receivers and then Joe Burrow's getting, so much money. If that ends up failing in like first couple weeks, like they're just getting destroyed on the defensive side of the ball, then, maybe they don't even make the playoffs. But I think that's a team that is definitely hanging on the outside because even though their defense isn't great, they haven't made the playoffs in a few years. That is a team that you do not want to see in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
absolutely not. hmm hmm
And I think my next three teams in the NFC that are in that bubble, probably the Lions, Eagles, and Commanders. That's probably all I'd put in there, honestly, at least for
I
now.
I would say it's Niners could make it there, but it's too early to tell how good that team's
Right.
going to be.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying as well. And we're not quite sure
but
how they'll
yeah
rebound. And I'm not
yeah
too sure who's going to come out of that division. I think it'll be the Niners, but if they don't come back the same, or if, they paid Purdy a bunch of money, if, like, that ends up, like, they're not able to get help in other areas, I don't know.
you can see the
I do
Rams.
like I do like the
Yeah
Niners, but we'll have to see how they play
yeah
in this next year.
yeah
And the Rams are still there, so I don't know. But
yeah.
in terms of Super
hmm
Bowl bubble, maybe they'll make the playoffs, but in terms of the Super Bowl bubble, I think it's just the Lions, Eagles, and the Commanders.
Yeah, that's definitely like. Well, I would definitely this year. I see the Eagles repeating. That's my prediction. Um,
Right.
but I think that's definitely more of a lock than the AFC, where it could kind of go either way. Because they look the most
Right.
complete out of any
I agree.
NFC team. Yeah,
Right. And even though I like the Commanders in that bubble due to how much they impressed
yeah,
last year, but I mean, they still got dogged on by
yeah.
the Eagles in that NFC
He did.
Championship. And when they played in the regular season, the Commanders actually played pretty well against them. So I was going into that game, I thought the Eagles were going to win, but I thought it was going to be close. I didn't think that they would lose that bad, but once again, just the fact that they were in that game at all is
Mhm.
crazy. And the Lions, I really thought the Lions were going to go to that NFC Championship and for the Commanders just went in there and stomped on them, which is why I was like, well, maybe they have a chance against the Eagles, but it kind of ended there. Um, I feel like the only one that I can be so confident in is
Yeah.
the Eagles, but I feel like I can include the Commanders and Lions in there just out of respect for what the Commanders did, and also they kind of like they weren't that like it didn't feel like they were that great going into last year, and then the way they've rebuilded, the way they drafted, like and they got Deebo Samuel as well, like I have a lot of faith in the Commanders this year. And I don't know if they're going to get past the Eagles, but I think they're definitely going to be in the mix. And I could see them going deep in the playoffs again. They're in my Super Bowl bubble.
Wow.
Do you agree?
I wouldn't say they're in the Super Bowl level. I actually just saw a report that Terry McLaurin just requested a trade from the Commanders.
I
Yeah,
did hear about Terry McLaurin. I was thinking they were going to lock that down, but yeah,
yeah,
because he was wanting wasn't he wanting Jamar Chase money or something like that?
yeah. I
So
mean,
I'm not sure.
he can be on that level when, but
Right.
he's not as consistent as Jamar Chase is. Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Right. And also I think he's already
Yeah.
32, so they're probably or not 32, like he's probably already 30, I think. So they're probably hesitant
Yeah.
to pay him. But I mean, they did just make a run to the AFC Championship or the NFC Championship, so maybe you just pay the
Hmm.
man, but maybe he's asking too much, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I think the Eagles definitely feel the most confident because, like, before
Right.
this playoff run, they were like the Jalen Hurts was like the only quarterback to like repeat coming back to the Super Bowl. Like Garoppolo didn't, Brady
Right.
didn't, Burrow didn't, Stafford
Right.
hasn't, like Purdy hasn't.
Mhm.
So he's like the first quarterback in a while to
Right.
like repeat, besides Patrick Mahomes, obviously. But yeah, like they have a team that like knows how to take that extra step because the Lions have gotten close a couple
Right.
years, but
Mhm.
just haven't been able to
Right.
seal the package. So yeah,
Right. I agree. And honestly, even though like if I really think of teams that I legit think that could win it all, I feel like there's only really four teams that you can put in there with the Eagles, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs. I feel like every team after that, even though if you include them, it kind of feels like reaching, and it kind of feels like we haven't seen that level where I could legitimately see those four teams doing it, and we've already seen two of them do it.
yeah,
That's probably like the top tier
yeah,
teams is I think Eagles, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs,
yeah.
and I think the Super Bowl. My pick is I think it's going to be Eagles, Bills.
Okay, yeah. I would go. I'm gonna go Eagles Chiefs.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah,
that's not a bad take.
like even even though like the Chiefs they got stomped on in that Super
Right,
Bowl, like they have so much experience and like
right.
they overcome so much adversity, like it's insane, and they're able to just as soon as they lose pieces, just plug in new pieces and just come back even stronger. So yeah, hmm I definitely don't see them having as good a season this year. Obviously,
Right.
like they only lost one game, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, technically they lost two, but they sat
Yeah,
their starters in week 17. But I mean, like Mahomes has been. I
right.
mean, he's kind of getting gradually like worse statistically, and
Yeah,
playoff. They've still had that playoff success somehow, right? And despite them not scoring as many
yeah,
points or like not having as many stats, they continue to win games, which is why I could include them in that bubble. Um, but I mean,
hmm
with Rashi Rice and all the trouble that he's been in, he's probably going to be suspended for a good bit of the season.
yeah,
And I don't know, like,
yeah. And with do you see the Chiefsaholic,
right,
the super fan? He's in
right,
jail.
yeah, that's so insane.
Yeah,
Yep, the
yeah.
team should have just added him as an mascot at
Rob.
that point, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of good they didn't because he was robbing banks to pay for tickets. Yeah,
Right. I mean, like before the bank
before.
robbing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Right. I think part of it is that I want to see the Ravens or the Bills in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't want to see the Chiefs again. That's probably part of it as well.
Oh, I obviously I I don't want to see the Eagles or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'd rather see other
I agree.
teams. But
I think we're
like,
gonna see. I think
I think that's
as I see it right now, I think
yeah,
things can
that's the
change in
yeah,
the season, and then they could definitely lose in the playoffs. But like, I'm not as confident in any team as I am in the Eagles to make it back there. Is what I'd say.
for
I
sure,
think
for sure. That's
the team
definitely
that I can say like
the
the
most
most
locked.
likely
Yeah,
like it is the Eagles. And the thing is with the AFC is that
yeah,
even though the top like my top four best quarterbacks are there, where you have Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Lamar, but like that's so much of a tougher playoff road than like the Eagles, where I think Jalen Hurts is probably the fifth best QB, and I think the Eagles, as it stands right now, I think they have probably an easier path. If you look at the Chiefs, like if they have to play the Bills and the Ravens, I think that's tougher than anything that the Eagles are going to get thrown at them. I mean, at least as it stands, because things could change as we get into the season. Like all of a sudden,
yeah,
Bryce Young legacy season MVP.
yeah,
You never know.
yeah. Like if you say the Bears make that next leap,
Right.
like the Packers make that next
Right.
leap. They could definitely like more of a matchup for the
Right.
Eagles, but like they like are proven and they are like the most complete that we've seen. And I see no problem for them to just run through this schedule and just get right back there. So yeah,
Right. They did lose a lot of talent on their team, and they only added a few guys. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they're the most proven team out of the NFC right now. I feel like the Eagles. I'm most confident in them. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I feel like I can't say with as much confidence that any of the others will. And a lot of the teams where it's like have taken that next leap, where the 49ers have had two Super Bowl appearances in the last 5 years or so, whatever it is.
Mhm.
But like I don't have much confidence in them because who knows if they're going to bounce back the same, right?
Yeah,
And then Commanders, I mean, was that a fluke or can they do it again? It's the first good year in a while where I feel like the Eagles have been there and they've been in the playoffs for years and years. Um, had that Super Bowl loss against the Chiefs, and then came back and rebounded this year. Like, and the Lions, even though I liked them, they had that choke against the 49ers, and then had the Commanders run into their own building and run them out of it. Like, even though I love the Lions, like I feel like I'm most confident. Like it's not close. We're like I don't know if they're gonna make it, but I can't say that any other team in the NFC has a better shot than the Eagles right now.
yeah, for sure. And like I would say, like two teams in the AFC were just like waiting to see that next leap, are the Bills and the Ravens. Like that are teams that have like
Right,
come so close to making it to that next step,
right.
but just haven't been able to do it. Same thing with the
Hmm.
Lions and the Packers recently. Um, but I think it's definitely we're definitely going to see at least a couple of those teams like make that next step. So we'll have to see.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And as we're getting all these heavy hitter teams at the top, we're looking at some others that underperformers or um, but I mean, a lot of them, they're young teams. And you look at teams that have quarterbacks that are coming back from last year's draft class, which ended up being fantastic. And then you look at this QB draft class. Which sophomore QB do you think is going to take the biggest leap in his second year?
I would say even though he had one of the best rookie seasons in a while, I would say Jaden Daniels. Probably not a hot take, but I would say yeah, like
Hmm.
he's just definitely like superstar in the making. And I think could be MVP caliber one day. I would definitely say him. I would also say Caleb and Bo Nix are both going to have great years.
Right, right. I agree. But yeah, I agree. But then in terms of like taking the biggest leaps in their second year, I don't know how much better of a season Jaden Daniels can
Yeah.
do. Where I feel like, and then Bo Nix also made the playoffs as a rookie. Where I feel like the biggest leap is probably going to come from Caleb Williams. I think
Yeah,
because
definitely say
you
that.
can't really include JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy in that because he didn't play at all, right? And Michael Penix Jr. I think he's going to have a
Yeah.
solid year, but I don't think he has as good of a team built around him and as good of a head coach in Ben Johnson as Caleb Williams does. I think all the tools are set. Like it's Caleb Williams like team. Like if they lose, like there's something wrong. There's really something wrong with the Bears because this really feels like their year to make a run. Not like a Super Bowl run, but I think they can get to the playoffs for the first time in a while. And I think he has the ability to take the biggest step. I think out of the rookie quarterbacks from last year.
Yeah. Mhm.
And in terms of rookie quarterbacks that I'm highest on, I think it's probably just Cam Ward by default. I mean, when you look at this rookie quarterback class compared to the class before it, I mean, it doesn't really even really feel like a question where, you know, we were talking about which one, all these guys are day one starters, how this going to play out. But with this one, I mean, Cam Ward might be the only one that plays.
Yeah. I mean, there's a possibility that Shooter Sanders plays because they're just kind of trying to
Right.
plug anyone in at that point. I mean, yeah. Um, because
Right.
Thompson
I agree.
Robinson didn't he play last
Hmm.
year, so they were kind of going with everyone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like Jackson Dart, I don't think they're just sitting them. I think because there's just too much talent on that team.
Right.
But
They took him in the first round. Hmm.
yeah, he went before Sanders actually,
Right.
which is surprising. But I think they're kind of like that was kind of their plan was to kind of sit him and just, which I think is smart. I think more teams should sit their talent to just like let them grow.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah,
And I mean, they picked him in the first round, so they're certainly high on him, but
yeah,
it'll probably be a while before we see Jackson Dart at all. Yep. I think Russ Wilson's probably going to be the starter, right?
yeah. I would say that. Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I do like Cam Ward, and I mean, if all of a sudden he has a Jaden Daniels type season, I mean, you're looking at that division where you're looking at the Jaguars. I think they have the ability to do better than them. Colts are looking rough, and then all of a sudden, if the Titans are somehow able to squeak ahead of the Texans, all of a sudden they're in the playoffs. I think it's kind of the beauty of being in such a bad division. So I mean, they could end up having a Jaden Daniels type year. What do you think about that?
yeah. I would definitely. I mean, it'd be nice because the Titans, it's been a struggle. I mean, ever since they got rid of Brown and Henry. So this has been an
Right,
interesting rebuild. And they've just been kind of just trying to draft any QB with Willis, and then
right,
what's his name, Levis, and then now with Cam Ward. But I think Cam Ward is the best out of the three that they've drafted recently, and I think he has the most promise. But it'd be interesting to see a leap from them,
I
um,
agree.
and to see if they can actually have
Right,
like an All-Pro quarterback. Because as good as that Titans team was when they had the one seed and they lost to the Chiefs, they knew Tannehill wasn't the guy, and that's why they're constantly trying to
right.
replace him. But if they can get a guy like that, they can
Hmm.
definitely be a contender. So yeah,
Right. And I think this is a lot different from Willis and Levis, where like those guys were both taken in the second round as second round picks, but like this is first overall. Like this
yeah,
guy is really supposed to turn this team
yeah.
around, and I think he has a solid chance to do it. Now the Texans are still pretty solid. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they are next year, and it does. I'm not sure if Tank Dell's going to be able to come back after the
Uh,
injury that he
that
sustained late in
sucks.
the year.
Yeah,
That was really
because
rough.
he looked so good that whole season.
I know.
So I hope he
Right.
comes back healthier. So yeah, yeah,
Right. And then the Colts are in like the depths right now where they're having a QB battle between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, both of which are not would not be good for them. Like
Anthony Richardson,
there's no other
he's shown
options.
promise. If he can stay healthy, um, and just keep
Right.
getting better, yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
possible.
yeah,
But even when he's been healthy, I mean, if you look at some of his like highlights where like the interceptions are so random and like a lot of the times there's like no receiver in the area.
yeah.
And I'm not sure if he just needs to work on his accuracy or if it's, a cause of injuries, but I mean, we're really going to need to see an Anthony Richardson, a really good year from him, because I mean, this is year 3 now, something like that,
Yeah.
where we were looking at the same draft class with Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, right? And you saw that the jump C.J. Stroud had immediately, and then Bryce Young ended up getting benched last year, but then he started to show some promise later in the year and won, I think, like he won a few games and had a lot of great plays where we haven't really seen that at all from Anthony Richardson, where this really feels like his prove it year where he has to make
Hmm.
something happen this year or he's probably just going to be out of a job.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
Right, at least when it comes to the starting job, right?
Hmm. Yeah, Colts they're an
Right,
interesting team. If he can have a breakout year, Richardson, like
right.
they could definitely contend with the Titans,
Hmm.
or the Jags. But that again, yeah, you said it. Like that's definitely not a great division. So yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, and then I mean the Jags, I mean Trevor Lawrence seemed like he was going to be good for a while, but he's kind of fallen off. But I mean, with Travis Hunter there now, I mean, who knows? Maybe they end up taking off because it looks like he is going to play both sides of the ball. And if he's able to replicate what he did at Colorado in the NFL, which I don't know if he's going to be able to do, but if he's able to do that at that high of a level, the Jaguars could be scary. But I don't know. I feel like Cam Ward has a good shot, and maybe if not this year, the next year, where I feel like Cam Ward is really going to have a solid career. And I like that really. That's a really good
yeah.
pick for the Titans. I
Hmm.
think they really needed something.
I don't know if that's going to work out with Hunter on both sides of the ball. It's going to be interesting to see.
Right. I feel like at a certain point he's just going to end up playing one. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think he's better at?
I think he's probably a better corner, honestly.
Yeah, hmm
Right. An incredible athlete, though. I mean, to play both sides
for
of the
sure.
ball like that is ridiculous. But at the NFL level, he might end up having to zero in at one position. But I mean, he said going into the
I mean,
draft, right?
when have we really seen that in the NFL? I mean, you could say J.J. Watt played tight end
Hmm.
and 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 defensive end.
Right.
What else? Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know. I
I
mean,
don't
I
either.
guess Julio Jones, he played defense sometimes.
Right. Or Rob Gronkowski did a little bit, like on Hail
Gronkowski,
Mary plays, yeah. But I mean, not like this, not at this
yeah,
level.
not at this level. Yeah,
Right.
and the one time I remember Gronk playing defense is he gave that touchdown up to the
I remember.
Dolphins.
That's what I was thinking about. That's why I thought of that because I
Yeah,
remember seeing him fall
yeah,
during the Miami Miracle.
yeah,
He was the last line of
yeah.
defense, and he just fell on his face.
He was, and the announcer's like, Gronkowski has a bad angle.
Right.
He did have a bad
It's a
angle.
terrible
Yeah,
angle. Yeah, but he doesn't play defense, so I don't know why he was out there.
yeah, hmm
I mean, I don't know. Well, he had said going into the draft that like he like if a team drafted him and wouldn't let him play both sides of the ball, he wouldn't play for them.
I
So
mean,
I
if
mean,
he's talking like that, he
I don't know.
better show it. Yeah,
Right. Right. But I don't know if it's going to be sustainable, and I don't know how much of
yeah,
a high level it's going to be. I mean, the jump up from whatever it was, the Big 12, the jump up from the Big 12 to the NFL
ridiculous,
is ridiculous.
ridiculous.
So I mean, if
Yeah,
he ends up, I mean, if he ends up doing it and it works out, then maybe he's just one of the best athletes of
yeah,
all time. I don't know, because most guys can barely do
I
one
know.
side of the ball. So I mean, if that ends up working out, that's great. But I don't know. But I mean, it's an interesting pick for the Jaguars. Where I mean, it's one of the best athletes we've seen in a while. But I don't know if he does both sides, how much he can keep that up, and at what point is he going to have to zero
Yeah,
in on just one
hmm
position? Is what's going to be interesting.
because you have to play in the NFL. It's not like
Right.
you're playing against like
Right.
these low level schools that have like not much
Right. These aren't
athletic.
slouches. These
No.
guys were all the best player at
Yes,
their colleges.
exactly.
Like this is
Yes,
the NFL.
and like you're going to be playing almost every play of the game, and you're going to have the energy
Right.
level always high because if you don't, you're going to get destroyed. So
Exactly.
that's why, yeah, you said it. Like he's good. He's probably going to have to zero in on one of them, and we'll see like which one he chooses, or maybe he does one game, one another game, maybe something like that. Um,
Right.
yeah,
And it's the same. I mean, it's kind of the same principle as when people say, like, could the best college team defeat the best NFL team? It's like, but that, or the worst NFL, the worst NFL team. Where they're saying like all those guys like on the worst like they were like the best team at their college. Like those are all like those are pro guys. Like if you're in the NFL, you're the best of the best, and it's like that's not going to come close. The difference is just
yeah, yeah,
ridiculous. Where I mean, Travis Hunter, obviously a great athlete. I think he deserved to get picked that high, but I don't know if he's going to be able to play both sides of the ball at the level that he's hoping to play
right,
at, and the level that the
right.
Jaguars want him to be at.
I mean, maybe it'll work out because I mean, a lot of his division opponents are not great at all. So, but when he plays like someone outside of that division, we're definitely going to see like what happens. But yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. Right. Yep. Going into this next year, we've seen guys like Patrick Mahomes win two MVPs. Lamar got two MVPs. Josh Allen just got one. Going into this year, who do you think's going to win the MVP? And do you think it's going to be a quarterback again, or do you think we'll see an Adrian Peterson type year where we'll have a skill position person win it?
I would love if we had um, another non-quarterback win it. I think that's really exciting,
Right.
and
Hmm.
like like it shouldn't be just a quarterback award, obviously, but when you look at it, like that's
Hmm.
usually the most valuable player is the quarterback because they do so much for your team. And like when
Right.
teams don't have a good quarterback, it doesn't work out for them, even though they have a good team besides that. So I mean, I think the
Right.
the player that could win that almost won this year is Saquon Barkley. Um,
Right.
if he can replicate that. But I think that's the best.
Right.
non-quarterback there is. Do you think there's another player that could win that's not a quarterback MVP?
And I don't know. I mean, running back seems like the best chance at it because we
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
Adrian Peterson a while ago, and then who we were talking about at the start of this, LaDainian Tomlinson won it in 2006. So I mean, it's possible, but I mean, in the state of the NFL, I don't know. And when you're talking about running backs, I mean,
and J.J. Watt. Didn't
right?
J.J. Watt
He
almost win
was
it?
J.J.
And
Watt
like
was really close, yeah. And
that
I
was
think he might have
yeah,
even had some touchdowns as tight end that year too. So
yeah.
I mean, he was all
That
across the
year that
board.
year was insane. Yeah,
Right. And I mean,
yeah,
you're looking at running backs. I mean, you like to think Saquon can do it, but I mean, if he didn't win it last year, like how much can he really improve? And then also with all the now he's got all that pressure riding on him, and he's like the first pick in fantasy and like the cover of Madden, where it's like, is he still going to perform at the same level? I think he's still going to be a great player, but I mean, we talk about like curses, and like last year,
that's true.
Christian
That's
McCaffrey was the
true.
universal number one pick in fantasy, and he hardly played that whole year. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
And then you look like, well, I mean, maybe Derrick Henry, but I mean, he might be too old to make a push for it. He's already gotten 2,000 a couple times and didn't win it. So I mean, honestly, it just feels like it's really tricky for a non-quarterback to win it. Where I mean, the
it
quarterbacks
is.
really have to
Yeah,
have a down year, and then someone really needs to step up. But it feels like even when the quarterbacks aren't performing like years past, a quarterback still wins it. So
yeah, hmm
it's starting to feel more and more impossible. I would
yeah,
say as the years
hmm
go on. I hope it happens, but I mean, it's probably just going to be another quarterback next year. And if the
yeah,
Bengals end up making the playoffs, I feel like Joe Burrow's a solid contender for that. And when it comes to
yeah,
MVPs, Lamar Jackson's always in that conversation.
hmm
Josh Allen just got his first one. I think those three guys is probably who's going to win it with Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. And even though Patrick Mahomes is great and everything he does in the playoffs is incredible, and the Super Bowls and his couple MVPs in his past, but the way they play the ball, the way they play the game now, with it's like a lot of running, the defense is great. They don't end up scoring too many points, and even though like they end up winning games and he still does a great job, it's not great for the stats. And we've seen over the past couple of years, especially since they lost Tyreek Hill, they started to really like decline, and like his stats have started to decline. And
yeah,
even though he's still probably the best QB in the league, right?
yeah,
And all those things, but when we're talking about the MVP, where it's a stat award at the end of the day, stats and probably playoff, performance, or not performance, playoff appearance at least, right?
yeah. Do they take that into account whether you make the
I don't
playoffs or
think
not?
so.
Yeah,
They probably
they
should, but I
definitely
don't
take
think
into
they
account
do.
like record because that's why they didn't
Right.
give it to Burrow last year.
Right, and it's like
Yeah,
where you land in the
hmm
playoffs. But so I think it's probably going to be Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, or Josh Allen. When it comes to voting fatigue, though, where we saw last year where Lamar maybe had like slightly better stats, but ended up going to Josh Allen because Lamar's already won two. Maybe Joe Burrow swoops in and steals it this year. I don't know.
yeah. I mean that'd be great. And he's
Yeah.
definitely, I would definitely say he has a shot for it. And like even if you like are a receiver and
Hmm.
have a shot at that, like I feel like the quarterback throwing to you has a better shot at winning MVP, even though you have so much good stats. Um, so
Right.
yeah, I
That's the
definitely
issue is that
yeah
yeah, you can't be
yeah
trading votes. You can't be sharing votes with your quarterback. Like you have to have such an incredible season at wide receiver, and then your quarterback, I guess, just every other drive have to throw an interception or something to water it down for his sake.
yeah
But I
hmm
mean, that's why it feels like it ends up being the running backs that end up having the best chance, just because
yeah
like every like touchdown, like if it's an 80-yard touchdown, like almost like the wide receiver doesn't get as much love for it as the quarterback that ends up getting all the attention. Which I mean that's still incredible, and obviously QBs are very valuable, but that kind of ends up making it feel impossible for the receiver to win that type of award.
I know which sucks. I mean, who do you think has the best shot with receivers to win? I
Receiver,
mean,
I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's certainly incredible,
y-
and like Justin Jefferson feels like the best
yeah,
wide receiver in the league. But then again, he's going to be. I mean, it's going to be basically a rookie quarterback situation, and how much is
yeah,
how great is that really going to be
yeah,
for Justin
for sure,
Jefferson and his stats. And then you think
for
like, well,
sure.
then who's like the best, like who's got a great like quarterback position? But I mean, you almost need a quarterback like Jameis Winston. to basically get you a ton of yards, and then he balances it out with interceptions where you're not going to be losing votes for him. Where I feel like the the person that you'd say maybe is in the best situation to have the type of stats to win it would be Jamar Chase, but in that situation, he probably ends up losing out to his quarterback in Joe Burrow. So I mean, it
Yeah.
really just feels
Hmm.
improbable. I mean, I feel like you
Yeah.
can make a better case for running backs, but I
Yeah.
mean, what we just did, where you try to make a case for wide receiver. Oh, well, the quarterback's not great. Oh, well, the quarterback's too great. It's like, well, then it doesn't really work.
And even when like a defensive player has like an ungodly year, like
Right.
that year with JJ Watt, like
Hmm.
even he didn't even win it that year. So
Right.
like it takes a ton. And yeah, and you need like everything to go right. You need quarterbacks to have a really bad year, which we have had years like that recently, where
Right.
quarterbacks definitely like maybe shouldn't have won that year. But
Right.
that's like that is like the most valuable position on the field, for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah. So
Right. Yeah, I do agree. It just sucks because it feels like it's like an MVP award, but it really is just a quarterback award at this point. Even though like a lot of the times the QB does deserve it, but I mean it's just I don't know. It would just be nice to see a running back or a receiver win it if the quarterback doesn't have ungodly stats, which over the past couple of years they've been good, but like even like a couple of years ago were like Lamar's stats, where obviously his running stats were great, but
yeah.
like in terms of quarterback stats, they weren't that great.
Hmm.
But he ended up winning MVP almost by default.
Yeah.
And
I know.
yeah, I don't know. It would be cool to see it, but I feel like it's gonna be a while before we do. And I mean,
I would love to witness that. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm like college football, like the Heisman. Yeah. Travis Hunter, and then we had Devontae Smith, the Crimson Tide. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry won it too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And so did Mark Ingram. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we've had a couple of 2,000 yard seasons from running backs, and they end up still not coming close since Adrian Peterson's here. So, I mean, if it's like
Yeah.
it gets to a point where it's just impossible, where it's like, what
I
kind of
know.
stats do these guys need to have to
Yeah.
win MVP? So, I mean,
I know.
I feel like if it does happen, I feel like it's going to be a while. I mean, quarterbacks really need to suck that year,
Yeah. They definitely do. Yeah. Kind of have to luck out.
right? Yep. When it comes to the best teams in the league, it feels like the top four or like five or so teams kind of remain the same year after year, where you have the Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, Eagles, whatever it is. But in terms of when
Hmm.
you look at a top 10, it feels like it differs a lot. Where, I mean, we just saw the Niners in the Super Bowl and then they dropped out. Where the Vikings were like really great all year and then they dropped out. What would be your way too early top 10?
Hmm. Yeah. So I would go Eagles one. Um, I would go Bills
Hmm.
two. Um, even though I have the Chiefs making the Super Bowl, I just think the Bills are a better
Right.
team. Even though like Diggs, what team is Diggs on now?
Oh, he's on the Patriots. Oh, he was on the
Yeah.
Texans. He's on the
Okay,
Patriots now.
Patriots. So, um,
Yeah, and
who does he have to throw? Dawson Knox. Who else?
yeah. Well, I mean, they got Amari Cooper and
Yeah,
Keon Coleman out of Florida State. Hmm.
he's good.
And then James Cook in the
Yeah,
backfield. So that's a solid team.
yeah. So I'd have Bills at two. Um, Cook, he's a little inconsistent for sure. Like
Mhm. He's had flashes though.
like he definitely has, and he's more consistent than Dalvin now, which is
Oh, right. I mean,
crazy to
I don't
say
even know what team
because
he's even on
Dalvin.
anymore. 'Cause Dalvin's been on the
Yes, yeah,
Ravens, the Jets, the Vikings, and like I don't, he
yeah.
hasn't produced the same since those a couple years on the Vikings where he looked really legit. I mean, he kind of just fell
He
off.
was great. Yeah, and I remember when he was on the Seminoles, he looked great there too. But yeah,
Right.
so yeah, so Eagles one, Bills two.
Right.
I would say I would go Chiefs three.
Okay. Yeah. I would probably
Yeah,
put the Chiefs at two.
okay.
Just
Hmm.
until the Bills beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, I don't think I can put them over them. And it just keeps
Yeah,
happening where I'm like, and I feel like that's the same goes with the Ravens, where my top five is probably um, Probably goes the Eagles, then Chiefs, then the Bills, then the Ravens, and then probably the Commanders in fifth place.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean they've proven that they can do it in the playoffs. And then I probably
Yeah.
go Lions at six, and then probably Bengals at seven, Packers at eight, Texans at nine, and then I think I do 49ers at 10, just because I'm unsure how they're going to perform and return from all
Yeah.
those injuries. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's easy to say
Hmm.
which teams are going to make the playoffs, but then when you come to a top 10, like, I don't know. Where I feel like the first five come pretty easy, but like, I don't know. And those top
Yeah.
five,
I definitely do.
that top five kind of has stayed the same for years too.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Like,
has. I mean,
I mean,
like you could say the Lions are kind of creeping in there.
right.
Um.
But they're probably still sitting outside looking in. But I mean, you look at like the Ravens, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chiefs, like they've been the best. Like, I mean, the 49ers have like
Yeah.
jumped up there and then fallen down, but those like four teams have been sitting in the top five, I think, for a while.
And like recently, before this last year, like only one of
Mm.
those teams has had Super Bowl success. Um. And this last year really proves
Right,
that like the Eagles can do it. Like, because when you think about like Super Bowl teams like the
right.
Bengals or the Rams or the Niners or the obviously well the Bucks, but they're not that's not the
Right.
same team obviously. But like, is that fluky to make a Super Bowl appearance like that? But
Hmm.
they like they locked in, they reloaded that team, and they
Right.
yeah
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a really
yeah
great NFL season, and kicking off with the Hall of Fame game tonight. It's really going to be an interesting season. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm hoping we see new faces in the playoffs and mainly the Super Bowl. But I mean, I'm really looking forward to this next season.
yeah I am too.
All right. Well, this has been a great episode. We broke into the Hall of Fame game tonight. A lot of just news as we approach this new season, and I am really optimistic about this new season, and I feel like we got a lot of young players in this league and a lot of new faces. I mean, teams like the Commanders that haven't been good in forever, and all of a sudden now they're in the playoffs. Now they're in the NFC Championship. So I feel like there's a lot more parity in the league, and I'm really looking forward to this next year, Jack.
Yeah, I am too. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me on this episode, Jack.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. This is the Yeah, of course. Yep. This is the Ben Buzz. I'm Benny King. Thanks for tuning in.